Hi guys, today we're going to react to SKOGEN MUMLAR by HELGA. This is a Buy Me a Coffee request from Dan W60. Thank you, Dan, for yet another request.
Thank you, Dan. Once again, we appreciate the support.
This song has a slightly different energy signature because the experience here is not vocally led by HELGA. She's a part of the arsenal of sounds that come from the band. Even with it being only the second time we've reacted to them, I love this experience. I love feeling this. I've enjoyed Burden a lot, the first song that we reacted to. I keep asking myself, why aren't we reacting to HELGA more? I'm really connecting to their vibe. So far, it sounds like a trip, possibly a hallucinogen-induced trip, not hallucinogen, but a drug-induced trip. The connection to nature and all that. I can see myself there getting lost, under the influence of something. But yeah, loving it so far.
Yeah, there's a sort of an added intensity in this one that is different to Burden. Burden had a lot more of the sort of cool, ethereal aspect, which exists here as well. The guitars and drums are a bit more pronounced in this one than they were, I think, in Burden. So it almost feels like it might be even a little bit like too intense, for the subject matter. But it still works. There's something about their sound that is just so cool. It feels that they have this like a connection to nature, which is sort of where the theme is to, well, so far, both songs we've covered. And it seems to be an overall thing with them. Their album is titled Wrapped in Mist, which is really, sort of it captures the feel of these two songs so far. I think SKOGEN MUMLAR, which means the Forest Murmurs, is the first song in the album. So yeah, I don't know, there's just something very, very cool about them. They're very easy to listen to. It's music that I would use when I'm just like either relaxing or even meditating in my own way, which is not always so quiet and relaxing, but it just inspires me in some way.
There's another level there that well, it comes from science. We've known for a while that trees communicate with each other. So I wonder if being connected to nature to such a degree, I wonder what that means in the grand scheme of things. The forest murmurs. The forest actually murmurs. The trees actually talk to each other. We don't hear it, but that's a factual thing. So it all combines. I really enjoyed thinking about it.
It's yeah, it's I think that's their connection or her connection, you know, to nature. I mean, those first two lines they translate to the forest murmurs, the wind whispers. So, you know, it's all about like this communication with nature, like trying to understand it or actually understanding it. The funny thing is, we talked about how it makes us feel and what mood it puts us in. And Dan, when he requested this, somewhere in his notes, he said that HELGA are his go-to music, you know, in the morning when he has his first sip of coffee, you know, just kind of waking up and relaxing. And it makes sense to me, you know, I can see that. I can also see myself in a hammock listening to it. But yeah, it's just, I don't know, love it, love it. It's just a great, great energy to them.
Kom och följ med mig in i skogen, springa mot ängarna. Kom och följ med mig in i skogen, springa mot ängarna. Dansa, drömma bort under stjärnhimlen, dansa med älvorna. Kom och följ med mig in i skogen, springa mot ängarna.
Fantastic.
Quite an exit, yeah.
I expressed before that that I thought that was like a bit of a contradiction in there. Like it may have been even like a little bit too intense for the subject matter. I felt that even more in the end, even in the visuals to some extent. So I wonder if there's more behind this. You generally you know, have this thing where you place the music in a film or in some type of film or whatever. So as I'm watching this and the top shot of the trees with the music being a little bit ethereal, but then the drums and the guitar kind of kicking in, it felt like a very much thriller, something dark.
Yeah.
It felt like there was a darkness to it. And then when they went and showed us the band in that sort of, I don't know, field, I guess, and they were all dressed in dark clothing.
Yeah, funeral.
And her makeup seemed dark and some sort of a, I don't know if to call it a sadness, but something, you know, didn't feel quite like the way, you know, what the song is communicating to me if I just look at the lyrics. And you know, I thought it would be a more sort of happy song, you know, because she is kind of like a pixie or a fairy or whatever, you know, that we've seen in the first one and in this and the connection to nature, but it felt like there was a darkness behind it.
Yeah, I agree.
And I was thinking the whole time, it feels to me like the song is inspired in some way by Nordic folklore and some kind of Swedish, because we know that she's Swedish. The band is both from Sweden and the UK, and it felt like something to do maybe with Swedish poetry involved as I was reading it. But yeah, just very interesting. I mean, the lyrics: "The forest murmurs, the wind whispers, come with me into the forest, so we sing about the trees, dancing with the fairies, all night and dawn." It just feels like a happy song to me. The feel and the visuals, there's a darkness to it.
Yeah, I agree. There's a darkness to it. The fact that they were in that field dressed in black, they looked out of place in nature. I
And her
think
makeup.
yeah, and her makeup. I think they meant it that way, and it could mean to say about nature that nature is great and it's an amazing. The connection to nature is an amazing feel and everything. But nature is also horrible. Nature isn't nice. It's not moral. Nature. Think about natural disasters or think about the food chain. There's a lot of darkness in nature as well. Or it could mean their black attire and her makeup could mean man's intervention in nature, like the chasing after the oil or whatever, exploiting the world's resources.
As you were talking about your interpretation, it kind of got me thinking about burden. And with burden, the subject matter was about longing for nature, about going back home. Remember that? It was all about that kind of the connection to nature or connection to a place that has been lost and the need to regain it. And I'm thinking maybe this is sort of like a theme type of album where all songs kind of dance around this this type of topic. And it seems that you know, like you said that they were dressed like it was a funeral. Maybe it is. Maybe this is sort of a lament, a sort of a kind of like crying over the connection that we've lost with nature, that we used to have, that we don't have anymore, and the longing to regain it. You know, she says, come follow me into the forest, run towards the meadows, dance, dream away under the starry sky, dance with the fairies. So it's like wanting to go back to that and almost mourning where we are at the moment, and the fact that we've steered away from nature and from that kind of living. I think there might be something in there.
Yeah.
But sounds awesome, looks fantastic, and just thought-provoking, which I love.
Indeed. Even though I like your interpretation better, I enjoy thinking about how everything you just said doesn't really explain the darkness in it. Because it can still be hopeful, that longing for nature, but it doesn't explain the darkness. They're mourning. What are they? You mourn something that you've lost, that you will never get back. It makes me think about, why is mourning a part of it? Was it so tragic?
Because as humanity as a whole, we have lost that connection with nature. Of course, it can be regained, but it needs to be regained over generations. And I think that's what it's saying here. It's saying that nature is still there, but we are still away from it. And we keep ruining it. Certain parts of nature we've already killed and it's not coming back, but let's save what is there and our connection to that. It's possible that this is, you know, somewhere in there. In what they're saying and what they mean. I have to say, I kind of connect with that message as well. You know, it makes sense to me. It's a very cool and interesting way of putting it. And, you know, again, when I think about it, her makeup, it looks like almost like the makeup was running, like she's been crying, which is kind of, you know, takes me back to this kind of mourning type of feeling. It's like, why are we going away from nature when we should run towards the meadows, which is what she says here, you know? And she says, come follow me. So it's like she's doing this on her own. People are not following her. And that's maybe what it's about. It's trying to convince people to go towards it rather than away from it, and sort of create a better future, I think.
Nothing's really stopping people. So that the fact that maybe the mourning part is on how people are so predisposed to stay away from nature. Maybe that's what they're mourning. There's no hope in I mean, in the ending, there's no hope. It's a pessimistic outlook, if your interpretation is correct.
Well, we have gotten used to what we perceive to be comfort with everything that we have in our homes and technology, you know.
Yeah.
And we've gone away from, you know, the simple life, you know. You've expressed this before, I think, about the Amish.
Yeah.
You know, you said that you find a certain appeal in that kind of lifestyle.
Yeah.
And that's kind of close to this in a way, you know. Let's go back to basics. Let's go back to how things used to be. Let's live harmoniously, you know, with nature, rather than what we're doing now, which is almost like against it and just exploiting it, but not giving anything back. It's a very cool message, if that's the message. But yeah, I would tend to think that that's kind of where they're going. But
by that logic, I like thinking about what we perceive as comfort. I like to call it sedation. It's sedation. People are disconnected from everything. Everything has been fed to them.
Thanks, Dan, for this request, and just, you know, for introducing us to this band. They are freaking awesome. And as always, we appreciate the support.
Yeah, thank you, Dan. We enjoyed reacting to Helga yet again. Please keep them coming. If you enjoyed this episode, guys, please be sure to like, subscribe, comment, and click the little bell icon so you'll get notified on all our future videos. If you have a request you'd like bumped up the line, please make it through Buy Me a Coffee. All contributions are, of course, very much appreciated. Thank you all for sticking with us. Thank you all for your time.
Thanks, guys. As always, we appreciate the support. We'll be back in a couple of days with a new episode, and we hope to see you all then. See you then, guys. Bye.
Bye, guys.